In the sprawling, emotionally charged narrative of Beyond the Gates, the character of June stands as a haunting figure, a woman caught in the relentless grip of her past, her present a fragmented mosaic of pain, loss, and fleeting moments of clarity. The latest episode of this gripping drama delves deeper into June's fractured psyche, peeling back layers of trauma to reveal a woman teetering on the edge of oblivion. Did she lose her memory after the devastating loss of her child? Or is there something more sinister at play, a deeper wound that festers beneath the surface? As we unravel the threads of June's story, we are drawn into a world where memory is both a lifeline and a curse, and where the bonds of family are tested by betrayal, addiction, and unrelenting sorrow. A sisterhood fractured by time and tragedy. The episode opens under the cold, gray shadow of an urban overpass, where June has carved out a meager existence. Her home is a patchwork of scavenged blankets and cardboard, a stark contrast to the life she once knew. The camera lingers on her weathered face, her eyes hollow yet defiant, as if daring the world to look away from her suffering. It is here, in this desolate corner of the city, that Regina, June's estranged sister, re-enters her life after years of silence. The reunion is anything but warm. The air between them crackles with unspoken accusations, each woman a mirror reflecting the other's pain. Regina, polished and composed, stands in sharp contrast to June's disheveled appearance. Her tailored coat and steady gaze speak of a life rebuilt, but her eyes betray a weariness that only comes from carrying the weight of familial wounds. June, on the other hand, is a storm of contradictions, defiant yet fragile, proud yet broken. Their conversation is a dance of avoidance, each word carefully chosen to skirt the edges of a shared history too painful to confront directly. June's voice trembles as she demands to know why Regina has come. "What do you want from me?" she snaps, her hands clutching the frayed edges of her jacket. Regina's response is measured but laced with frustration. "I'm here because you're my sister, June. Whether you like it or not." The sisters' estrangement is rooted in a past that the show has only hinted at thus far, but the episode begins to unravel the threads of their shared tragedy. Years ago, June's life spiraled into chaos, her addiction to drugs becoming a vortex that consumed everything in its path, including her relationship with Regina and, most devastatingly, her children. Regina, who fought her own battles to rebuild her life, has grown weary of June's refusal to seek help. "You chose this," Regina says at one point, her voice breaking with a mix of anger and sorrow. "You chose the drugs over us, over them." The accusation hangs in the air, a blade that cuts both ways. June, however, is not merely a victim of her own choices. Her refusal to leave the overpass, to accept a bed in a shelter or a room in Regina's home, is not just stubbornness, it's a form of self-imposed exile. The overpass, with its constant hum of traffic and fleeting shadows, is both her prison and her sanctuary. It's where she feels closest to the ghosts of her past, where she can cling to the fragments of a life she can no longer fully recall. To leave would be to abandon the only tether she has to the person she once was. The weight of a photograph. The heart of the episode lies in a single, pivotal moment that shifts the narrative into uncharted territory. Regina, in a desperate attempt to reach her sister, pulls out her phone and shows June a photograph. The image is grainy, worn from years of being carried, but its significance is immediate. It's a picture of two children, their faces bright with laughter, their eyes filled with a trust that only innocence can bestow. For Regina, this photo is a sacred relic, a reminder of the family she lost and the sister she still hopes to save. For June, it's something else entirely. A trigger that sends her spiraling into a panic that is both visceral and heartbreaking. June's reaction is immediate and raw. Her hands tremble as she snatches the phone from Regina's grasp, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and confusion. "Where did you get this?" she demands, her voice rising to a near scream. "This is me. This is mine." The words tumble out in a frantic jumble, her sentences breaking apart like shattered glass. Regina, Naomi, and Jacob. Friends who have joined Regina in her mission to reach June, watch in stunned silence as June's world unravels before them. The tragedy of the moment lies in June's inability to recognize the truth. The children in the photo are not her, but her own. The daughter and son she lost years ago, taken away when her addiction rendered her unfit to care for them. The show masterfully captures the dissonance in June's mind, her memories so fragmented that she cannot distinguish between herself and the children she once held. To her, the photo is a relic of a self she no longer understands, a piece of a puzzle she cannot solve. "I found it," she insists, clutching the phone to her chest as if it might anchor her to reality. "I found it somewhere." The scene is a masterclass in emotional storytelling, with the camera lingering on June's face as tears stream down her cheeks, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Regina's expression mirrors her sister's pain, but there's a hardness there too, a resolve born of years of watching June destroy herself. "June, those are your kids," Regina says softly, her voice breaking. "Don't you remember them? Don't you remember anything?" The question hangs in the air, unanswered, as June's gaze darts around, searching for an escape from the truth she cannot face. The fog of memory the episode raises a haunting question. Has June's memory been erased by the trauma of losing her children, or is her mind deliberately shielding her from the pain? The show suggests that June's fragmented thoughts and broken sentences are not just the result of addiction or homelessness, but a deeper psychological wound. Her inability to articulate her thoughts, especially after seeing the photograph, hints at a dissociative state, a mind fractured by grief and guilt. The writers of Beyond the Gates are careful not to provide easy answers, instead allowing the audience to sit with the discomfort of June's reality. June's interactions with Naomi and Jacob further illuminate her mental state. Naomi, a social worker with a gentle demeanor, tries to coax June into talking about the photo, but June's responses are disjointed, her words trailing off into silence. It's mine," she repeats, her voice barely above a whisper. Jacob, a former addict who now works with Regina to help those on the streets, recognizes the signs of trauma in June's behavior. "She's not just high," he tells Regina later. "Something's broken in there. Something big." The show's exploration of memory and trauma is both poignant and unflinching. June's refusal to leave the overpass, her insistence on clinging to a photograph she doesn't fully understand, speaks to a deeper need to hold on to something, anything, that connects her to the person she used to be. Yet, her inability to recognize her own children suggests that her memories are not just lost, but actively suppressed. The photograph becomes a symbol of this internal conflict, a tangible reminder of a life she cannot reclaim. A family torn asunder. Regina's role in the episode is equally complex. She is not the savior figure one might expect, nor is she without her own flaws. Her frustration with June is palpable, rooted in years of watching her sister spiral deeper into addiction. The show reveals, through subtle flashbacks, that Regina once tried to save June, offering her a place to stay, paying for rehab, even fighting for custody of June's children when it became clear she couldn't care for them. But each attempt was met with resistance, and Regina's patience has worn thin. The episode doesn't shy away from the moral ambiguity of Regina's position. She loves her sister, but she also resents her for the chaos she brought into their family. The loss of June's children was a turning point, a wound that neither sister has fully healed from. Regina blames June for the choices that led to that loss, but she also blames herself for not doing more. "I should have fought harder," she confesses to Naomi in a quiet moment, her voice thick with regret. "I should have dragged her out of that life." Yet, Regina's refusal to offer June a place to stay in the present speaks to the boundaries she has set for her own survival. She has rebuilt her life, found stability, and she cannot risk letting June's chaos back in. This tension between love and self-preservation makes Regina a deeply human character, one whose actions are both understandable and heartbreaking. The path forward. As the episode draws to a close, the question of June's future looms large. Will she ever remember the truth about her children? Will she find a way to reconcile with Regina, or will the chasm between them grow wider? The show leaves these questions unanswered, instead focusing on the small, human moments that define June's existence. The way she clutches the phone with the photograph, as if it might disappear if she lets go. The way Regina's hand hovers over June's shoulder, wanting to comfort her but unsure if she'll be pushed away. The way Naomi and Jacob exchange glances, silently acknowledging the enormity of the task before them. Beyond the Gates excels in its ability to portray the messiness of human relationships, particularly those strained by addiction and loss. June's story is not one of easy redemption or tidy resolutions. It is a story of survival, of a woman fighting to hold on to the fragments of herself in a world that has taken so much. The photograph, with its faded smiles and frozen moments, is both a beacon of hope and a reminder of what has been lost. For June, it is a lifeline to a past she cannot fully grasp, a past that may hold the key to her salvation, or her undoing. As we wait for the next episode, the audience is left to ponder the same questions that haunt June and Regina. Can memory be reclaimed, or is it forever lost to the shadows of trauma? Can a family torn apart by pain find a way to heal, or are some wounds too deep to mend?